Hello, Sec 2s. Okay, we are going to start on a bit of a research component for your visual journal, which will be your WA3 assignment for next term. So we're going to briefly run through what a visual journal is about so that you will understand why it's important for you to complete this photography project that we have coming up that you need to finish within the blended learning week. So try your best to finish this photography project and upload on Padlet within this week. Right. So next term, we will actually be working on a visual journal. So a visual journal is much like a diary of sorts. You know, when you have a diary and you write in what your day is like, and you capture and record moments in your life that are of significance. So just like what the write-up says, the purpose of a visual diary is to provide space for an artist to work within visually. So when you actually engage in a visual diary or visual journal, you can actually build very important skills of observation, of drawing, of painting, but also of experimentation and exploration of ideas. And through that, you can also try out some trends of skills so that you can further improve in your artistic abilities. Okay, so for next term, you need to be aware of the theme, and the theme is actually what am I thankful for? Okay, so for most of next term, we are going to focus on this theme of what am I thankful for, and you are going to focus on either a person or people's places or products. So, for example, people that may be important in your life, people that actually make you happy, people that provide for you, like your parents, could be people that you study. Okay, it could even be people that you don't know, that you don't really know, but you actually encounter them every day. Like, for example, our canteen store vendors that serve your favorite chicken rice or your favorite Japanese rice every day for refresh, or the school cleaners, or the security guard uncle that waves hello and goodbye to you every time you enter into school. So it could be people that are close to you or people that are not close to you, okay? So places could be, you know, if you were to take photos of your room, for example, or for your home, for example, the favorite spots of your home that you like to sit in, that you like to relax in, that you like to chill out in. Okay, so you could also take photo of those places, and this could also be used for your project, or even places like school, okay, and your classroom, the canteen, your favorite eagle's nest, or place the outside the teacher's staff room where you always go there for consultation or meeting your teachers. Okay, places in school also is okay. If let's say you have a favorite fast food restaurant that you like to go to, like McDonald's or Burger King or Shake Shack, you love Jewel, you can take photo of those places. But I would encourage you that if you were to take photo of places, try to find places where there may be interesting buildings or interesting subject matter that may be in these places. Okay. All right. And then the next thing is products. So products could be objects of personal significance. Like, for example, you have a soft toy that your best friend gave to you in primary school. Okay, you can capture that in your photography. Or you like to eat. Okay, so because of that, you will take a lot of picture of the food that you eat every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All right. So these can be products, or you know, in CCA, you actually in Wushu, so you like to take photo of the weapons that you use, or you're in sports, basketball, badminton, all right? So you can take photo of the objects that you use every day for CCA. So yeah, so that's why when we say people, places, and products, even though it may be just 3 words, but within these 3 words encompass a lot of items that you can look at, okay? So no one should be limited in their ability to find something of significance and for something that they are thankful for, right? So minimum of 6 to 8 entries are needed in this visual journal, and we will provide you the paper. Okay, so more will be explained to you in the weeks ahead. So in this visual journal also, not only do you need to draw, but you also need to have brief annotations. So what are annotations? As the word suggests, annotate. So you need to be able to make little notes, like, like how in Instagram, people like to take photos and then they put captions below their photos to explain why they took the photo or what was the moment that they wanted to capture about. So in the same way, you have to write little notes like a diary next to your artwork, okay? And to explain why you are thankful for it and how it is significant to you. So take note of the various items that you need to use, and you can use, for example, pencils, eraser, your watercolor markers. This is the time for you to really use your watercolor markers. So if you have not bought your watercolor markers, please do so ASAP from our school bookshop because it's cheaper. All right, pen, ink, color pencils, paint, and painting materials. So if you have all your materials at home, from next term onwards, you can bring whatever materials that you like in color to use for this project. Okay, so yeah, here are some actually Instagram tags to explore on what it means to look at visual journaling. Okay, so they center around various themes and some actually center around food. So you can just take a look at it. Okay, so we need to actually engage in the photography research. So this is to be done by the end of week 10, which is this week. Okay, so you need to upload inside Padlet. Okay, so here is the photography project that I need you guys to do. Okay, we are going to talk about 4 keys on good photography. And so you need to be able to take a photo that shows good light and shadows. So light and shadows, what do I mean? Can I see good use of tonal values of dark, medium, and light tones? Can the shadows and contrast, of dark versus light be used to add dramatic effects? So you need to capture a picture that has a strong use of light and shadow, okay? Then your second photo should also should convey colors. So the second point is colors. So take a photo of, it could be the object, it could be the people, places, or products set in the environment, okay, that has a very good use of colors, okay, in the background. So it will be good that I think for places and places and people, these two themes can be combined within this color shot. Okay, the third photo that you need to take is about perspective. So you will need to get into maybe a different position to get a good photo. For example, we always say that in photography or in painting, there is bird's eye view and there's worm's eye view. So bird's eye view means that your view is elevated higher up, and so you take photo from a higher vantage point. Whereas worm's eye view is you go low and you take photo of an object or a place or people at a lower vantage point. So you need to be able to go into different positions and to take photos beyond just the normal standing eye level position. Okay, so be creative with your angles. So try to get a change in perspective in your third shot. Okay. And for your fourth shot, you will need to keep it simple. So I want you to be able to capture a subject matter that has a lot of personal significance and that is simple but yet highlights a topic that may be relatable to society, that may be relatable to the viewer, that may be relatable to all of us as Singaporeans, okay? So I'm going to show you some examples right now. Okay, so you see over here, there is Sean Lee. He is a local photographer. And many years ago, he actually did this series on his parents. So you notice that, okay, we can say that this shot is also quite simple, okay, because it's just of a face and of hands, and it does not show much of background. But what I want to highlight over here is actually the use of light and shadow for this particular series of works. So you can see that in terms of tonal value on the father's face, you can see a good amount of dark, good amount of mid, and good amount of light. Okay, so there is a good use of tonal value, even though the colors are taken away, it's black and white, therefore allowing you to focus on the form itself. Okay, so it's a good shot. And you notice that even though, you know, the facial expression doesn't show much, he's staring intently into the camera. The hands around the neck, who does it belong to? Okay, so it begins to give you a sense of mystery. Like, whose hands does it belong to? Why are the hands on the neck? All right. So there are various stories that can be told, and it's very emotional and intimate. Okay, in a sense that you can see actually right now, here is the photographer's mother, and the father now in turn has placed his hands around her head. So we can interpret these works in various manners, but of course, the artist's intention is to actually express a theme of love. So his parents are, if I give you a little bit of a background, are the typical Chinese family where they are not very used to expressing words of affection, okay, or even to express acts of affection to each other. So when he captured his parents in this manner, it actually kind of forced them out of their comfort zone to actually, touch, have some physicality with each other. And you notice that the way that the photos are shot are pretty quiet because there's not much distraction going on in terms of colors or in terms of background and environment. Okay, and the focus is really on the face of his parents. And then the supporting supporting subject matter is of the hands or of the presence of the other parent, okay, physically in contact with the face. So there is a sense of, when we look at it, symbolism that we see in this work. And we can see also that it also translates to a representation of how their relationship is like in real life. Okay, so again, you can see two hands touching the face of the woman, which is his mother. And the use of light, contrast, very beautifully shot, soft on the face, okay, lights and dark. Very often for black and white images, the most impactful black and white images are those that are able to use a very good contrast of light versus dark. Okay. Okay, so now that we have already seen light and shadows, we're going to take a look at colors right now. So this artist, photographer, his name is Nguyen, and Nguyen is actually known for using pastel color schemes in his photographs. So these are very normal, everyday shots of Singapore, of what we are familiar with. And if you were to go to his Instagram, I think he recently also uploaded some Chinese New Year, Chinatown theme photos, which are also quite beautifully taken. And he likes to further edit the colors to give off this pastel tinge to his works. So you can see that there is that sense of fantasy or idealism that he has with the play on colors in a very ordinary scene that we are very familiar with in Singapore. So here are some more photos of his works, so of Singapore. So you notice that the colors are way lighter, okay, than usual. And he likes to observe quietly the behavior of human beings and against the backdrop of the cityscape. So, and the heartlands. So he likes to take photos in HDB flats, near areas where void decks, okay, near areas where the community often reside in. So there is a certain, because of his color choice and his quiet observation, there is a gentleness in his work. And you notice that very often the subject matter notices him, and they can sometimes make eye contact with the camera. And then he captures these small gestures. Okay, another shot that we see over here. Right, beautifully shot. Okay, it's almost like there is a frame around this view of the heartlands of the HDB flats, and then the colors. Okay, this uncle over here taking a break, resting on the playground. This hole that we see in the ground, when we look at the shape, we begin to think, is this like what we're used to in terms of a drainage hole, or is this a heart shape? Like we see a heart, like is there something that he's trying to, a poetic response that he's trying to make about his love for Singapore? Okay, in terms of changing your perspective, we can actually see that Ike Beng Chia, and you notice that so far I've been using Singapore photographers. That is because I want you to look around your surroundings, around your environment. You don't need to go far out to another place, because we only got this week to finish this photography project. So go around your neighborhood and take photos, okay? Or go around school. If you're going to be in school, take photos in school, okay? Anywhere that you are at can be accessible and can be used as studies for your visual journal, right? So if you take a look over here, you notice that Ai Bing Chia's work is a bit more playful, it's a bit more distinct in its spontaneity. So for example, the moment the cat starts to walk, across across this area, he snaps a shot, and the cat seems to be mirroring the statue of the tigers at the background. So that makes for a very interesting shot. And then we see that he likes to take photo of people on the streets as well. And you can see this auntie looking very cool with her big glasses, and it's a zoom in shot of her face. All right, so you can see the blemishes, you can see her teeth, her uneven teeth, and you can see what looks like, hints of environment that she's outdoors, and there are many people behind her as well, so it looks quite crowded. And then he captures this in your face shot, like there is a sudden moment that he captures. So there's a bit more speed and spontaneity. So Ai Beng Chia actually likes to observe human social behavior in public spaces, right? So let's take a look at again another perspective that he takes over here. So you can see that there is actually a graffiti mural at the back of a boy picking out from a rectangle. And then just at that moment, very nicely shot, he manages to capture, okay, an old man riding a bicycle past this little boy that is peeking out. So it's almost like as if the boy is looking at you and the boy is looking at this old man, okay, that is riding past your view. And then we see another perspective again of, the elderly people. And you can see that the shot is being framed by the Singapore flag. And we can see these two people. I don't know what they're engaging in. Okay, they look like one of them looks like he's having his meal. So there's a very natural candidness, we'll call it candid photography, in the way that he captures his subject matter. His subject matters don't appear like they are posing for him. Okay, and he just captures it at that moment. Okay, so another shot that we see over here, very often, sometimes we see workers, maybe they are taking a break at the site, okay, and they don't have much place or a space to go to, so they'll just lie down at the void deck, or they'll just lie down in public spaces. And here's a behavior of a man and you notice that the perspective is from the top. Okay, remember I mentioned about bird's eye view. So it's elevated, he's standing above this guy, and he took a photo of this man. And you can't tell who he is, but because he has a towel on his face. But even despite he has a towel on his face, he put his glasses on his towel. So it's quite a humorous portrait of this man that is taking a break. Okay, a very beautiful shot. I love how there is that contrast of shadow and of person. All right, so we see a hint of human presence through the shadow on the wall, and then we see the actual human presence at the side, okay, of a man and of a woman. And you notice that the building has split them across. Okay, so you can see these two people separated, but within the same space, within the same moment at that point of time. So yeah, it's a nice shot. Okay, another interesting work by Ike Bing Chia. So you can see how human behavior, okay, why is it that the boots are on the chair? So when you walk around your neighborhood, you may see interesting things, objects that are being placed purposefully by other people for a reason, but you do not know what the reason is for. Just take a photo of it. Okay, it could actually pose as a very interesting arrangement of subject matter for your work. And we can see over here as well, a man that is taking a break, okay, and another man that is also taking a break in public spaces. Okay, so the last shot, actually not exactly the last shot, the fourth shot is called Keeping It Simple. Okay, so you notice that for this shot, and it's by Woong Sok Ting, she likes to explore tensions between man and environment. So she actually captures how man tries to control and manipulate environment to follow what they want it to do. Okay, so that's why this choice of subject matter is really pretty simple. It's just taking photos of people who actually tie up trees and sticks. You know, sometimes they use it to support another plant for it to grow. So choose a subject matter, okay, that has a lot of empty space at the back, but that the subject matter is more interesting. Okay, so what meaning or symbolism does it convey that is universal? When we take a look at her series of works, okay, it is a series of photographs that records the different permutations of tree tying. So the work actually reveals a strong need for control towards the natural environment within Singapore. So it looks like, you know, they're tying the tree to help the tree grow in a certain straight manner. All right. And that could be a reflection of society, our own local society, and how, you know, the sense of control that is found in our over people as well. Okay. So we can see over here that the methods and the intentions of control are revealed. Okay, and she accentuates the formal lines and shapes. And the focus is not on the material being used. That means she's not about the gunny sack, or it's not about the rope, but it's about the methods and the intentions of control. Okay, so very interesting topic. Without showing much, she actually chose something that we encounter almost every day, highlights it, brings it to the forefront, and to show it as a reflection of what society is like. Okay, and she actually puts the address of where she found these tree tying methods. So it's all over Singapore. Okay, another artist, photographer, is Charmaine Poe. So again, about keeping the subject simple, she wants to actually look at memory, gender, youth, and solitude. So she likes to look into memory. Okay, so when we see with regards to her series of Ma Jie, so I hope you guys know what is Ma Jie, because in Singapore history, there is a wave of female migrants, okay, that actually were in Singapore, and they were working, you know, during the World War era and all the way even after the World War era. They were working as domestic servants, and they were very often found in families, okay, and they are like the nannies and taking care of families until the introduction of domestic workers, like we see now our domestic helpers from Philippines and from Indonesia or Myanmar that come in. Okay, these Matias were the ones who will often be taking care of the household and of the children. So I remember that my own grandmother also had a Matia taking care of her a long time ago. So the thing about them is that they were the breadwinners of their family, and they will take a vow of celibacy to signify their commitment, and they never got married Okay, many of them never got married. So the interactions of these matia with their surroundings and their objects are very often present in a quiet, intimate voice. So you look at this photograph and you can see that the photograph has a quietness again about it. Background is very, very simplified, even though it's taken in the matia's home. But the focus we can see is of her back. It doesn't even show her face. You can see hints of her age in her hair, and you can see the hints of her age through the texture that we see of the veins and the wrinkles on her hands. So it makes for a very beautiful, quiet shot. So a very simple shot again. Of course, we can see people in a place. We can see what she used to look like when she was younger as comparison to what she is now. So it is a image capturing of past and of present right at that one shot. And it's just a very simple setup. It's just taking a photo of a woman in her home. And that's a very simple approach as well. So taking photo of the bed that she is lying in. Does the bed look comfortable? What are these objects that are at the side of her pillow? Why is her bed sheet in this manner? Does it look comfortable? I don't think the mattress is very thick. All right, and you can see all the belongings that she has at the side. So we can tell that the type of environment that they stay in reflects how they live their lives and how affluent they are in their lives as well. So with all the sacrifice that they have made to leave their home in Guangdong all the way to come down to Singapore, how is life actually treating them right now? So we can actually capture these moments in this manner. So if you want to even take photo of your domestic helper, and if your domestic helper is willing to allow you to take photo of her because you are very grateful for her help and for her taking care of you and for taking care of the house, yeah, go ahead, take photo of her room, take photo of the place that she is living in, take photo of what she eats. You could make a study of her. Okay, so you see a simple shot like this. Why is her head bandaged at the back? And you notice that her hair is pleated in a very simple pleat with a rubber band at the end. And then you wonder, how is life treating these elderly matias now? Okay, so yeah, something to think about. This is just a shot of hands, but look at the beautiful texture and the wrinkles. Okay, if you want to take photo of your grandparents because you are grateful for them, take photo of them. Use your visual journal as a time where you can pay homage to the sacrifice of their efforts in raising your parents and also raising you up. Okay, so you can actually zoom in and focus on your grandparents as well as part of your visual journal of what you are thankful for. Okay, so I want to also introduce to you this idea of system photography, because system photography is actually capturing an object or a few objects, okay, repeatedly in various moments in time and in various permutations and arrangements. So for example, yeah, I actually managed to bump into these Singaporean artists, and their names are Stephen Chow and Lin Hui. And they are actually Stephen Chow. He is AHS alumni. So, but he's based in China. So I actually spoke to him, and he said he would love to give a talk to our students next time. So what is remarkable about them is that Stefan actually has a photography background, whereas his wife, Hui Yi, actually has an economic background. Okay, so she is a financial economist. And so both of them started to delve into studying uh, the state of the quality of life across various countries by studying an object that repeatedly in various countries. So and comparing the price of that object. For example, if let's say they take photos of tomatoes, okay, tomatoes in Singapore versus tomatoes in India, how much does it cost? And then they purposefully also place the newspaper that belongs to the country as a backdrop for these objects that they are studying on. So you notice that this work over here of all the various tomatoes from various countries and their various price points and newspaper background was actually one of the first Singaporean works being purchased, okay, or featured in MoMA, New York, okay, the Museum of Modern Art. So this is quite a milestone in Singapore's contemporary art history, all right, and I'm quite fortunate to actually bump into them when I went overseas last year. Okay, so they actually, I think this is quite a moving work, and this work is called The Poverty Line, okay, because they actually wanted to highlight how people based on their minimum wage in that country had to live and had to spend, and capture and record these through photography and through repeated system photography of that same object. So yeah, here's a bit more of a write-up. Okay, so they travel over 150 kilometers 150,000 kilometers to 31 countries to photograph the project. And within each of the statistics, okay, they actually tried to find the national statistics of the poverty line of per day rate spending. That means how much does the poorest family or poorest person in each country on average spend in a day. And then from using that value, they will then attempt to purchase food from these local markets that matches the amount. So the food items are placed on local newspapers purchased on the day of the shoot, and elements like lighting and dimensions are carefully measured to ensure uniformity. So the intention is so that a strong, almost objective stance can be taken when comparing the images. All right, and more than anything, they were actually fueled by the desire to show the world what poverty looked like. Okay, so what is the poverty line? It's an estimated imaginary line developed by economists in order to define a poor person, right? So if you are approaching food as things that you are thankful for, all right, and you want to take photo of primarily food, all right, so do take note that when you're taking photo, this is kind of like a system photography. You're taking photos of food and different types of food. Think about the angle, think about the lighting, okay? Think about what you're going to put at the background of your food, okay, when you capture it. Okay, so here are some buns. And can you make a guess? Okay, yeah, it's from China. So this is how much you can buy, okay, based on the poverty line of what you can afford, okay, in China. Okay, poverty line, you can see, okay, this is bananas that you can afford. All right, cheeseburgers also, if you're on the poverty line of in America, this is what you can afford. Okay, so for your visual diary documentation, your photography research, you need to be able to upload it before next art lesson for WA3. Sorry, I need to edit this. This is not WA2, it's WA3, okay? So you have to take at least 10 photos of significant people, places, and products. So remember, I need you to capture the four following things in your 10 photos. So you can have at least 3 photos of people, person, or even your pets, if you want to take photo of your dogs and cats, 3 photos of places, and 3 photos of products that you can be grateful for. All right, and in these 10 photos that you take as research, apply the 4 keys of good photography. So example, light and shadows, color, perspective, or you keep it simple. Okay, so I need you in your captions below your photos to actually write down what exactly do you use. Do you use lights and shadows? Do you use colors? Do you refer to perspective? Do you use simple? All right, simple subject matter. Now, this is a challenge for you, and this is what I want you to do. Google what are good tips or good keys of photography, okay, to capture 4 keys of good photography, right? I need you to introduce to us a 5th key. Okay, so can you do research, okay, and you Google first to find a 5th key of research on for a tip on how to take good photos, okay, and show us 1 to 2 of your photos as example of that 5th key. All right, so I repeat again, in your 10 photos, you need to refer to the 4 keys of good photography. So remember to add in your captions, do you use good sense of light and shadows? Do you use good colors or perspective? Could be a combination of 2 or more also. Is it simple subject matter? Okay, what do you apply in capturing the image? What do you identify in capturing the image? But I also need you to do more research on how to take good photos and find a 5th key. So I believe that many of us will have different 5th keys. And I want you to introduce that 5th key in 1 to 2 of your photographs as example of that key. All right, understand? So you will be given bonus marks, okay, if you can come up with quality works. However, if you fail to do this Padlet assignment by the end of week 10, then you will need to use, okay, our provided photos, which we, the art department, will provide for you because you need to get started on your work in week 1, term 2. So we will provide the photos for you, but that will also mean an automatic minusing of 5 marks from your overall grade. Okay, so because you use our photos, then you're unable to create a visual journal that really has your voice in it. So if you are kind of like relying on handouts from us, you will lose 5 marks from your overall grade. So just take note of this term, this point that I'm making across, because I want all of us to do our best to take our own photos so that our personality and what we are really thankful for can be seen through this visual journal. So it becomes something that this visual journal project becomes something that's very personal. It becomes something that's very true to yourself. Okay? Right. So please take note, your visual journal is your WA3 assignment, not WA2, WA3 assignment, and it is a 30% weightage. As such, please make sure you bring all your drawing materials and PLD to class next week. So all your photos, when you upload on Padlet in week 10, so sorry, not next week, in term 2, week 1, you bring all your drawing materials and PLD to art room. If not, you won't be able to do your assignment. Okay, and you have to complete your photography research this week before our next lesson in term 2. And you have to upload on the Padlet because we are using them as reference materials every week from week 1 to week 8. Without these photos, you won't be able to do work that comes from your voice. All right? Okay, so in terms of Padlet links, because we have set up separate Padlet links for each class, so I will be WhatsApping the Padlet link, okay, or putting it inside. Actually, I'll put it inside your HBL site. Okay, so do go to the HBL site to look for your class designated Padlet link and upload your pictures in that Padlet link that is inside your HBL site. Okay, so if there are no questions, that's it. So do remember, have at least 10 photos on your Padlet, highlighting the 4 keys of good photography, and introduce to us one more key of good photography in 1 to 2 of your photos. All right, so that is it for now. Any questions, please ask your art teacher. Thank you.